Now, that is what I am talking about. Joao Pedro, you beauty of a footballer, slapping up Villa in their own backyard. What is good, guys? Welcome back to Behind the Dugouts for your match review of Chelsea 4, Aston Villa 1. What a performance from the lads. And I wanted to leave the review just a little bit longer because I needed to see the end of the United game. And lo and behold, they lost 2-1 to Newcastle, which means all the teams around us have dropped points this weekend. We slapped up Villa, United have lost to Newcastle, and Wolves have beaten Liverpool too. It's a great game week for us, and we did, for a change, capitalise on the teams around us dropping points. We've clawed United and Villa back to within 3 points, same points as Liverpool now, but above them on goal difference. So it is a good night for Chelsea. And what a game, man. What a game. And fair play to Villa, right? They came out, they gave everything. It was a very end-to-end game, but there were moments, right? And Rosinia loves to talk about these moments where we dominated heavily and we were creating chances and we were capitalising on those chances almost every time. I have to say, this high line slash offside trap kind of thing that Villa try and play, it just don't work because we rinsed them for it. The amount of times we were playing that ball in behind, it was ridiculous, and they didn't change their tactics at all, which I'm quite surprised at, being that for me, Unai Emery is quite a highly regarded manager. I think he's top class, but he didn't change. Don't know why. Stubbornness, whatever it was, but it didn't go in their favour whatsoever. Lineup-wise, I thought it was a great lineup. It was great to see Cucurella back on the bench, but also too soon to throw him in this kind of high-profile game, and the way that it was being played, the back and forth, the constant physicality, the energy that was needed to produce this end-to-end back and forth football, maybe have been a bit too soon for him. But he did get minutes on at the end of the game, but I thought Hato was superb. The interesting was Sanchez not playing and having Jorgensen in goal. And you would say after the first 2 minutes, maybe you weren't too happy with that decision. But Jorgensen did all right. He had a few, what I would call Sanchez moments, but I think it's just the type of calibre that goalkeeper we have. When they're under pressure, when they have the ball at their feet, they tend to make the same mistakes. See exactly the same mistakes in Jorgensen as I do see in Sanchez when playing out from the back. But besides that, the saves he was making and he needed to make, he did. Villa obviously came out of the blocks rapid, getting that early goal. And of course, it's going to be Douglas Luiz, right? You can't write that shit up. We go in January, we're looking like we're going to get him for some midfield cover. It's almost sign, sealed and deliver. And then we pull out, we decide not to. He goes to Villa, 2 minutes in, they score. And you're thinking, oh, fuck me. It's going to be a long day, innit? It's going to be one of those games where we've failed to capitalise, where we've now dropped even more points. A Villa move another 3 points in front of us. They would have been 6 points had they had won this game, but they didn't, so it don't matter. And that's what it was looking like the first 2 minutes. But fair play to the lads, man. And we've seen this, right? We've seen the fight that they can have. And we've seen the performances they can produce when they're on it. It's just the inconsistency, the fact that we can't do this game after game. But they did it tonight. They went 1-0 down, and then they turned the game on the head. They completely dominated the majority of that first half. They were creating chance after chance after chance with this high line that Villa were playing. We were just breaking through. I thought Garnacho was superb down that left-hand side. And even Gusto, not your conventional right winger, but was playing that high right back, that wing back role. He was overlapping Cole Palmer almost all the time, and he was getting the crosses in. Obviously, he got an assist as well. But we just looked on it, man. All the players looked on it. And players like Garnacho had something to prove. Obviously, been out of the lineup, the starting lineup at least, for quite a while. Rosinia come out and said, he's been fighting for it. He wants it. He's going to get his opportunity. And he did take it for me today. There were moments definitely where he could have done a bit more. Definitely that one over the top when he was in the box. He should have taken that first time, but he didn't. But that's just nitpicking. His all-round game, his work rate, what he was doing, I thought was pretty good tonight. It's better than he has been in recent weeks. But the player that galvanised this comeback, because that's what it was. It started as a comeback and turned into an absolute demolition job. We were pulling out the hammers and breaking down the villain walls like they were nothing after the first goal went in. It was Joao fucking Pedro, mate. Joao Pedro, under Rosinia, has been reborn. And it was interesting because when you sit back and think what has changed, right? What has Rosinia done differently that Maresca wasn't doing? Because when Joao Pedro came in, he looked like this player, right? In the Club World Cup, he was playing the way that he's playing now. And then start of the season, he just sort of faded and became the shell of a player that at times we didn't even want in the squad because he just wasn't performing in any position, whether it be in the 10 or up front. But what Rosinia is getting Joao Pedro to do differently, at least in my opinion, and I think the commentators might have even mentioned it as well, is rather than dropping deep and always having so many touches on the ball and trying to link up everything from a deep position, he's now sitting higher. He's sitting on the line of the defence. He's basically only having his touches, or at least the majority of touches, in and around the box, which, let's be real, that's where a striker should be having his touches. He's shooting more, because one thing under Maresca, he wasn't shooting enough. He was getting in positions to shoot, but he was choosing to either cut it back or turn in, taking extra touches. He looked like he was playing within himself, maybe playing to tailor the system and the players around him. But for me, strikers, you got to have a bit of team play, but majority, you got to be selfish. Because at the end of the day, you are bought, you are paid to score goals. Your job is to score goals. So fucking shoot. Do it. And Liam Rosinia has completely reversed whatever Maresca did to Joao Pedro and is sustaining that form, right? He has probably been, next to Santos, I want to say, has probably been our most informed player since Rosinia has taken over. The guy can't stop scoring, and he fully deserves the hat-trick that he got today. It was a superb performance. Behind him, I thought the midfield of Enzo, Caicedo, at times a little bit open, but that's what you're going to get with the back and forth end-to-end play. There are going to be moments where, and we saw that with the Ollie Watkins goal that got ruled out, where we get caught in no man's land, really, committing too many people forward, the midfield being open, and they get through. Now, obviously, their goal that they scored that got disallowed was from a counter from a corner. We are going to push players up. We want to be brave. We want to score the goals. It's going to happen. It was a misplaced pass by Reece James, maybe thinking a little bit too much, and it's a very rare occasion that he does those kind of things, but it was almost costly. And to be fair, had that goal counted, may have been a bit more of a stickier game. Probably would have ended up in a draw, if I'm going to be honest, but it didn't, so it don't matter. And after that, Villa were quiet. They had a bit of sustained pressure after they made a few substitutions, and they didn't really do anything with it. Ollie Watkins looks like a shadow of himself. It was great to see Cole Palmer tonight. I think he didn't start the game too well, but as the game went on, even the passing got better, and he started to elevate his game. He was picking up these little pockets of spaces. He was playing with more confidence. Great finish, a late run into the box. Ball's been palmed out by Emi Martinez, and this was for, I think I want to say the fourth goal. Straight into his path. Little tapping. No, he's not roofed it. He's put it low, hard, past the goalkeeper. They had a few players on the line, passed it in. It was just an all-round good performance across all the players on the pitch. And this is what we want to see game after game, week after week. Can we not just have this consistently? Because we look like such a good team. As I said, the passing was better today. The intensity from the team was so much better. We looked hungry. We looked aggressive. We looked like we wanted it for a change, where when we were playing Burnley and Leeds and Arsenal, we just didn't look like we wanted to fight for these points. And we shouldn't need to drop points to the likes of Leeds and Burnley and get humbled by Arsenal to get a kick up the arse. But if that's what is going to happen and that's what has kick-started this run, and I'm not jumping to conclusions, I'm not getting carried away, because I have a habit of doing that when you, especially after a result like this. I mean, 4-1, how could you not get carried away with it? But we know what this Chelsea's team's like because of the age and whatever it is. There's always inconsistencies, and we can't always guarantee that the next performance is going to be the same as this one. But my God, do we need it, because we've got Wrexham this weekend, which is a good chance to build even more confidence. I can see the team being heavily rotated for the Wrexham game. But then we've got PSG. And if we can bag a result against Wrexham and bag the result against PSG, confidence will be through the roof. And we can carry this in and pick up a run. Because if we can get a run now, especially with the other teams around us dropping points, Champions League, it ain't out of sight. It ain't out of sight. I said after my Arsenal review, it's getting hard to reach out to it. We've now taken a step to bring that a little bit closer. We've still got more to do. Don't get me wrong. This game doesn't mean we're now getting Champions League football. It's a start. It's the beginning of the run. Now we need to capitalise. Now we need to push on. And players like Joao Pedro's and Cole Palmer's that are slowly finding a little bit more form. Even like Garnacho, like I said, Hato, I thought was superb. That back line today was solid. Can we now take this consistently into the next game, and then we have something to talk about. Then we can go, now we can grab that Champions League spot. There's still so much to do, but this was a hell of a performance, and we need this result. We needed this one. But that is all from me, guys. Rambled on. Love to get your thoughts. Drop them in the comments below. How did you feel about this game, and how do you feel about our Champions League chances right now? But for now, guys, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.